Picture this. You're stranded on the shoulder of a busy Victorian road. Your car's just broken down. Or worse, you've just been in an accident. You're rattled, traffic is absolutely flying past you, and you just need help fast. It is an incredibly vulnerable moment for any driver. But what happens next is actually governed by this fascinating, invisible ecosystem that operates right under our noses. So let's dive into this explainer and see how it all works.
You'd probably just assume you pull out your phone, do a quick search for a tow truck, and call the first number that pops up, right? Well, not exactly. Depending on exactly why your car stopped and where you happen to be sitting in Victoria, you are entering one of two vastly different economic worlds. Your experience is about to be dictated either by extremely strict, heavily researched government price controls or by the wild, customer-first hustle of the free market.
So here is our roadmap for this explainer. First, a tale of two tows. Second, the accident towing rulebook. Third, reviewing 2025 towing fees. Fourth, the competitive trade towing market. And finally, finding top-rated services.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, A Tale of Two Tows, Understanding the Divide.
To really make sense of the towing industry, you have to understand this hard dividing line. It's basically night and day. On one side, we have accident towing. Literally, the towing of a damaged vehicle directly from a crash scene. This side is heavily regulated and assigned via a very strict roster. On the flip side, we have trade towing, which covers pretty much everything else. Breakdowns, impounds, maybe just moving a car to a mechanic. Trade towing is a highly competitive, unregulated free market where you, the consumer, get total choice.
Moving right along to Section 2, the Accident Towing Rulebook, the regulated realm of Melbourne.
If we look at the 2025 draft report put out by the Essential Services Commission, or the ESC, the whole point of this massive regulatory framework becomes crystal clear. It's all about safety and efficiency. Think about it for a second. An accident scene on a major Melbourne arterial road is incredibly dangerous. You simply cannot have 5 different tow trucks racing each other to the scene, fighting over a customer while traffic backs up for miles. So the government steps in to completely remove that dangerous competition.
To prevent total chaos and ensure they hit a rapid 30-minute response time in Melbourne, the government uses a rigid roster system. Here's how it plays out. Step 1, an accident occurs. Step 2, a centralized call center gets alerted. And Step 3, the job is automatically assigned to the licensed operator in that specific zone who has had the fewest monthly allocations. It keeps jobs distributed evenly. There's no haggling, there's no fighting, just a highly systematic clearing of the road.
Next up, Section 3, Reviewing 2025 Towing Fees, Strict Government Benchmarking.
Now, without competition at an accident scene, how do you actually stop operators from price gouging you? Well, the government steps in with some strict mandates. Basically, if you crash in Melbourne, you are paying exactly these benchmarked fees. The base fee for an accident tow is set at $272.80, and that covers your first 8 kilometers. After that, it drops to $4.30 per kilometer. They even cap the storage of your damaged car. You're looking at $30.90 a day for undercover storage or $20.90 if it's just in a locked yard. And the ESC's 2025 draft report concluded that these fees are spot on, right in line with regulated costs in places like Sydney and Adelaide.
But the economy changes, right? Things get more expensive. So to handle changing economic conditions without having to rewrite the law every few months, the government adjusts these fees annually. They use the Melbourne Transport Consumer Price Index, but they subtract a very specific 0.5% productivity adjustment factor. Basically, the government assumes that tow companies are going to get slightly more efficient as time goes on, and they pass that 0.5% savings straight back to the consumer. It is a highly structured, purely mathematical approach to keeping our roads clear and consumers protected.
Section 4, the competitive trade towing market, Geelong's unregulated free market. Now let's completely shift gears. If we head into the self-management area of Geelong to look at trade towing, dealing with everyday non-crash issues like a flat tire or an overheated engine, the power flips entirely back to you, the consumer. Because this side of the industry is totally unregulated, meaning any company can offer these services at whatever price they want. Companies like Elite 24/7 Towing have to fiercely compete for your business. They are out there aggressively marketing promises like 30-minute arrivals, free upfront quotes with absolutely zero hidden fees, 24/7 operations, and specialized roadside assistance. Think jump starts and fuel recovery. They even boast about diverse digital payment options. It is the exact opposite of that government roster we just talked about. Out here, operators survive strictly by being faster, cheaper, or friendlier than the guy down the street.
And that brings us to Section 5, finding top-rated services, the consumer experience.
So how do drivers actually navigate this without just blindly trusting a quick web search? Well, they rely on rigorous vetting. Prominent expert recommendation platforms put these local businesses through grueling 50-point inspections. We're talking checking everything from reputation and legitimate ratings to complaint history and the exact services they offer. Over in the Geelong area, Mighty Towing scored an incredible 119 out of 120. Regional Towing hit 118, and Elite 24/7 pulled a 116. Those high scores are solid proof that in an unregulated market, excellence really does become your primary currency.
On the ground, that excellence looks exactly like this customer review from Mighty Towing. It perfectly captures the warmth and total flexibility of local operators. In this case, the original driver couldn't make it until the very next day, but rather than just leaving the customer stranded out there, he coordinated with a mate to cover the job for the exact same price. They even gave the customer some honest advice about the state of their vehicle. You just do not see this level of personalized go-the-extra-mile service in a rigid, state-assigned system.
Here's another one, this time for Elite 24/7. It really highlights that beyond just the physical hooking up and towing of a car, what people truly value is transparency. Constant communication till a driver was allocated. When you are stressed out sitting on the shoulder of a highway, getting a text message or a call telling you exactly how many minutes away help is, that is what truly relieves a driver's anxiety.
So when we zoom back out and look at the whole picture, we see two incredibly distinct forces working in tandem. Whether it's the rigid pricing oversight and mathematical indexing of the Essential Services Commission making sure accident scenes stay orderly, or the customer-first hustle and 50-point inspection ratings of local Geelong businesses competing for your breakdown call, both of these structures are absolutely vital for keeping our roads clear and keeping Victorian drivers safe.
But as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought. The 2025 SEC report explicitly noted that they are currently holding off on establishing separate fees for electric vehicles, mostly because they still make up a relatively small portion of the overall fleet. But we all know EVs are heavier, they're much more complex, and they carry very unique fire risks when they get damaged. So with the rapid, undeniable adoption of electric cars, how will the unique demands of EV towing force a massive update to both the government's rulebook and the free market's capabilities in the very near future? It's a fascinating question, and for sure it's one we are going to be watching very closely. Thanks for joining me on this one, and hey, drive safe out there.